So with M-Files, if you want to use M-Files, you need a network connection. Okay. With offline mode, you can flag specific files to be marked as offline. Okay, so let's say you know you're going to a site somewhere, you're doing a site walkthrough with a purchaser or something, and you know the internet's a little bit flaky there. You could mark all the files pertaining to that specific lot that you're walking through for offline, and basically get a local copy of all those files so that you can show them, and walk through the various documents you need to. So to do this, you have a few options. The first, you can go to individual files or highlight a bunch of files and right-click, go to offline availability and mark for offline availability. Okay. So when you do this, at your home screen in the other views section, you can see there's an offline view here, and you can see the various documents that you've marked for offline. The other thing you can do is you can actually mark an entire view for offline. Once you've marked all your files for offline, you actually have to go offline. So to do that, you go to your username at the top right corner of M-Files. You'll click that, and in that list there's a go offline. You would select that and say yes, you want to go offline. This will then take and download a local copy of all the files and views that you marked for offline. Okay, so that way when you're off site, you can then make all the changes you need to those documents. You can add new documents. And once you get back to somewhere where there is a network connection, you can go back online and it'll sync all those changes or documents that you added back to the server. Okay, now this sort of leads to a problem though, because let's say you mark a bunch of files for offline, you take it offline, you make changes to them, but somebody in the office who does have a network connection makes the changes as well at the same time. When you check that back in, like you go back online, it syncs all those changes, it's going to create a new version. So you have these two versions now that are not merged, and kind of which one is the best one. You do one of the following two scenarios. Either you just use these documents for read-only, so you can show the purchaser, or you can get access to these documents for read-only. That way, if you're offline, you can see them. You can also add as many files as you want, because when you sync back up and go back online, it's just going to add those to the server. So there's not an existing version, so there's no problem with that. The other option here is that before you go offline, you know you're going to be making changes to documents, check out the document before you go offline. Okay, this option's only good if you're going to be offline for a couple of hours, if you're going on a flight somewhere and you're going to be offline for a few days. Don't check out a document, because then nobody else can use it while you're gone. Okay, so we'll do an example here where we will mark some files for offline. We'll mark a view for offline, so you can see how to do that, and then we'll actually do the process of going offline and back online. Okay, so we go to the vault, we'll go to tick, and let's say we want to take this purchase agreement and the color sheet offline. So to do that, we highlight the two documents that we want, we right-click, there's the offline availability section, and we'll select mark for offline availability. So this shows two objects were affected, so now two objects are marked for offline. The other option is to actually take an entire view. So if you look at your home screen here, there's a bunch of views that have already been created for you. A view is basically a way of grouping some documents together. So like you're setting a filter for a folder, a shortcut folder at your home screen. So you can create a view basically to say that you only want to see site plans for a specific site. Okay, so that's saving that search criteria into a view at your home screen so that you can access it quicker. Okay, so a view is essentially a way of filtering what sort of documents you want to see and saving it as a shortcut. Okay, so right now there's a bunch that have already been created for you. So if we look here, the first one is My Information. There's also vacation information, documents by site and phase. This is the one we're going to look at right now. So let's say we're going to a specific lot number to go offline. We can come into here, go into this view, select the site that we're dealing with. So let's say Finley Creek, we're going to go to lot 100 in phase A. So we go to phase A. You can then take, at this point, entire phase A, all the documents offline, or you can go to a specific lot number or block and unit number. So we wanted to only take off lot 100. So we go into this another view. We then find lot 100. So if we go into here, we can see all the documents pertaining to that specific lot. Let's say we want to take all these offline. We can do that by going back one level. You can find the 100 folder here, virtual folder view. Right-click and mark for offline availability. So this basically will then mark that entire view in every document for lot 100 for offline. Okay, this is just going to show it's been marked, and you can see it in the offline view. So if we go to the home screen right now, we can scroll down to the other views, and in there was the offline view. If we go into here, we can see that view we marked for offline, or we can go into the marked for offline availability and see the individual files that we marked. To actually go offline, again, we go to that name, our name at the top right corner, and we select go offline. Okay, we hit yes, and we can see now it's taking the local copy, downloading the local copy of all the files that we marked. Okay, so there's only one view now available. It's the offline view, and you can see everything that you've marked for offline and share while you're doing your walkthrough, or add new files if you need to. When you get back to your office or anywhere that has a network connection, you can go back online, and that'll sync all the changes that you made back to the server.